Discover the incredible moment when my husband's scars were exposed, transforming hearts forever. When the autumn leaves began to blanket Maplewood in shades of amber and crimson, Sarah could almost hear the whispers of the harvest festival waiting to be born. It was the town's heart, a celebration of community, gratitude, and connection. As she watched her two spirited children leap into the pile of leaves, their laughter floated through the crisp air, a sound so free it made her smile and ache. Jake, her steadfast husband and local hero, was a proud veteran, a man of strength and warmth. Yet as Sarah glanced at him standing with a distant gaze, she sensed the weight he carried far outweighed the harvest baskets filled with apples and squash. She often wondered if anyone else could see those scars hiding just beneath the surface. He wore his smile like a shield against the world. Each day, he donned his boots, stepping out into the sun, yet sometimes he returned home wrapped in shadows. "Let us make this festival the best one yet," Sarah declared to her children, hoping to summon a bit of spark in Jake. Game nights, trips to the pumpkin patch, they were all designed to pull him back to the light. But Jake remained elusive, swallowed by silent memories. Her heart tightened. She loved him fiercely, but every laugh from the kids felt like a reminder of the love they were losing. As the festival drew near, tension balled up like storm clouds in their home. "Do you want to talk?" Sarah ventured one evening, brushing her fingers through his hair as they sat on the couch. Jake shrugged, eyes lost to somewhere dark. "I'm fine," he murmured, but both knew he wasn't. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. In a twist of fate, a local journalist caught wind of the emotional undercurrents swirling around Jake. In a fleeting moment during a stroll down Main Street, the journalist captured Jake's weary expression, the slight tremor of his hands, all reflections of a battle unseen. The photo, raw and unfiltered, revealed the scars he'd carried alone and sent ripples through the community. That image didn't just show Jake, it showed a man battling demons, a face that resonated with countless families. The outpouring of love and support engulfed him, transforming the collective grief into a chorus of understanding and action. Yet there loomed a question over Sarah's heart: would Jake accept this embrace from their family and friends, or recoil further into his shell? As the festival day arrived, the town buzzed with energy, bright lights, cheerful laughter, and the delightful scent of candied apples. But inside their home, Sarah stood on the edge of hope and heartbreak, anxiously waiting for Jake to make a choice. Would he unveil the man behind the scars, or cling to his solitude? The tension in her chest mirrored the anticipation outside. The harvest festival had begun, and everything hung in the balance. The sun rose on the day of the festival, casting a warm golden light over Maplewood. Sarah stood by the kitchen window, watching the bustling town from a distance. Children ran past, their faces painted with joy, while adults prepared for the day ahead. It was a sight she wanted Jake to savor, to soak in that community spirit. But his absence echoed loudly in the quiet corners of their home. "Jake," she called, peering into their bedroom. He sat on the edge of the bed, staring into space, seemingly lost in thought. The morning hustle faded away as Sarah's heart ached for him. This was supposed to be a day of joy. "Are you ready?" she asked gently, stepping closer. He turned slowly, the shadow of yesterday still clinging to him. "Yeah, just give me a minute," Jake replied softly, but Sarah could see the uncertainty written all over his face. The festival had begun, and Jake's internal battle felt as fierce as the autumn wind blowing outside. They arrived at the town square, where pumpkins adorned every corner, and laughter created a tapestry of sound that enveloped them. Sarah held the kids' hands, feeling their excitement and wonder. But Jake hung back, his hands stuffed deep into his pockets. "Look, Dad. can we go see the pumpkin carving?" shouted Lily, pulling at his arm. "Sure," Jake replied, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. As they approached the carving booth, he watched families engage, laughter weaving through the air. It ought to be beautiful, yet it felt like a scene he was watching through frosted glass, beautiful but distant. Picking up a carving knife, a volunteer stepped up to demonstrate. The way he expertly crafted a face from the pumpkin instantly caught the children's attention. Jake found himself drifting back to a different time years ago, when he would carve pumpkins with them, when laughter was effortless. A pang of grief washed over him, it reminded him of the moments he couldn't reclaim. "Jake, you okay?" Sarah's voice drew him back. She was studying him intently, her eyes reflecting a blend of concern and love. "Yeah, just thinking," he said, but inside he felt a storm brewing. The desire to shield his family from the shadows he carried clashed with the yearning to be present, to truly be there for them. Suddenly, the jubilant sounds of the festival faded as the journalist's photo flashed in his mind, the world above ready to press publish on his scars laid bare for everyone to see. What would they think of him now? Would they pity him, or, worse, would they turn away? Just then, an elderly couple approached him. "Hello there, son," the man said, voice warm like the cider being served nearby. "I saw that photo. It spoke to me and many others. Thank you for your service." Jake looked up, surprised. "It's nothing," he muttered, feeling the old instinct to withdraw kick in. "No, it's not nothing. It takes strength to show your scars." The woman chimed in softly, her eyes filled with understanding. "You're not alone, you know that, right? Many of us carry scars too." At that moment, something shifted within Jake. The walls he had built around himself began to tremble, and for the first time in a long while, he felt the warmth of connection pouring in, mingling with the chill of bitterness that had taken root inside him. He looked back at Sarah, who stood with Lily and Ethan, their faces lit with joy. The realization crept in this moment could be different. He could either cling to the dark or step into the embrace of light and love surrounding him. "Do you want to walk with us?" he asked suddenly, surprising even himself. Of course. The couple beamed, and together, they made a small circle of connection that felt like a lifeline. As they strolled through the festival, Jake felt the heaviness begin to lift, a flicker of hope ignited. But just as he felt that warmth spreading through his veins, Sarah caught his eye, showing a flash of concern again. Did she sense his struggles returning? Would he truly be able to connect with his community, or would this all be too much? Jake's heart raced with uncertainty, but he knew one thing for sure, he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. It was time to fight for the light once again. And as he joined in the laughter of his children, he decided today would mark the turning point. But what would happen when the truth soon began to unravel in ways he couldn't expect? The afternoon sun hovered high, each ray shimmering like a promise of warmth. The festival was alive with energy. Jake walked alongside the elderly couple, feeling their earthy stories ground him. Laughter erupted around them, and the sounds of distant music floated through the air, stirring something within him. "Do you remember when we used to dance at these gatherings?" the woman asked her husband softly, her eyes twinkling with nostalgia. Jake felt a pang in his chest. He remembered the nights he and Sarah danced under the stars, only to find those moments buried under the weight of his memories. As they reached a clearing, Jake spotted a small stage set up for local performances. A group of children there, singing a cheerful song, captivated his children. Lily and Ethan's faces lit up with excitement, urging him to join them at the front. In that moment, he felt like he was at a crossroads. "Go ahead, I'll be right here," he urged, pushing his unease down. As they ran off, Jake lingered. The elderly couple waved goodbye, heading towards a booth laden with caramel apples. Each step he took felt heavier than the last. He watched the children dance, their joy so pure, and wondered how he could allow his scars to dim their light. With a deep breath, he turned to move toward Sarah. In doing so, he caught sight of the festival banner fluttering in the wind, unity and community, love and healing. It hit him hard. They were all standing together, sharing moments that demanded vulnerability. He caught Sarah's eye as she crowded near the stage with their kids. Her expression, a blend of love and concern, ignited something deeper inside him. He needed to confront the shadows that had kept him isolated, hidden from light and laughter. As the performance wrapped up, he made his way back toward them. The children squealed with delight and rushed to him, their smiles like sunbeams chasing away the clouds in his mind. He gathered them in a warm embrace, feeling their love seep into him. "Did you see me singing, Dad?" Ethan exclaimed, puffing with pride. "Yes, you were amazing," Jake said, a genuine smile breaking over his face. Suddenly, laughter erupted as Lily twirled around, arms outstretched. Empowered by this interaction, Jake made a decision he hadn't dared to vocalize before. "Let us go and carve our own pumpkins, okay?" he announced, surprising even himself with the enthusiasm in his voice. "Yay! Pumpkin carving!" The kids cheered, and excitement bubbled over, igniting a contagious energy that washed over Jake. As they walked together toward the carving booth, he realized that with each step, he was shedding pieces of the darkness he had carried for too long. But just as they reached the booth, something shifted in the crowd beside them. A loud commotion erupted. People gasped, and Jake's heart dropped as he saw the two reporters he recognized, some folks from the festival, whispering and pointing. "What is happening?" Sarah asked, eyes darting. Jake's stomach tightened. He moved instinctively to shield his family, but the gathering crowd began to part. In the middle of it stood a woman. The instant recognition struck him. She was the one in the photo, the face of his past, and the one whose truth he thought he'd buried. "Jake!" she called out, her voice carrying over the crowd. A ripple of silence moved through the festival, everyone turning to face him, curiosity etched across their faces. His heart raced as he stood frozen, wondering how this moment could unfold. Would his past wounds be laid bare for all to see? Would this be the moment everything changed forever? The crowd was shifting, and all eyes were on him. Jake felt the world close in, the cheerful buzz of the festival fading into a distant murmur. The woman stood there, a silhouette of memories he had tried to forget. He could see the surprise in Sarah's eyes, a mix of confusion and worry. Who is she? That unspoken question hung heavy in the air. "Jake!" she called again, her voice trembling just enough to cut through the noise. He could see her features more clearly now, the familiar sadness mingling with resolve. "Why are you here?" he finally managed to ask, his voice barely above a whisper. Each word felt like a battle against the tide of emotions rising within him. "I came to find you," she replied, stepping closer, her expression softening. "There are things you need to know, things I should have said a long time ago." Jake took a sharp breath, his heart pounding. This was not how he had pictured this day, not at a joyful gathering meant to celebrate life and community. His children, blissfully unaware, were still beaming with excitement, their laughter ringing in stark contrast to the storm brewing around them. "Jake," Sarah squeezed his hand, looking for understanding. "Maybe we should go." "No. I need to hear this," he interrupted, feeling a flicker of determination. He had spent years locking away the past, convinced he was protecting his family. But now, standing in that moment, he sensed an unshackled truth fighting to break free. The woman paused, studying him, as if searching for the right words. "I promise you, it's not what you think. There's a whole part of our story that you've never seen." As if on cue, a breeze swept through, rustling the festival decorations. Jake grappled with disbelief and curiosity. What could she possibly reveal that would change everything? His mind raced back to that time, haunted by guilt, fear, and regret. "Just tell me," he demanded, his heart racing. "What do you want from me?" "I want to explain," she breathed, her gaze steady. "About that photo, about how everything spiraled out of control." You have to know the whole truth before you can move on. Jake's pulse quickened. Behind him, his children had turned to stare, their innocent faces shifting from joy to confusion. He needed to protect them, to shelter them from the drama threatening to unfold. But could this revelation be the very thing that freed him from the chains of his past? Sarah nodded, her eyes locking onto his. We're in this together, Jake. Whatever it is, we'll face it as a family. Just then, the woman spoke again, her voice steady yet trembling. I'm not here to hurt you, I want to help heal. I know it sounds crazy, but there's so much love entangled in our story. The crowd hushed further, the air thick with anticipation. The overwhelming chaos outside faded. It was as if time had stopped, leaving just the three of them suspended in an uneasy silence. Jake swallowed hard, glancing at Sarah, then back at the woman. Bubbles of fear mixed with curiosity swirled in his gut. What if this moment unraveled everything? What if healing was on the other side of confronting his ghosts? Okay, he finally said, his voice firm. Tell me. As she began to speak, a flicker of the past igniting in her eyes, Jake took a deep breath. He was ready for the truth. But would he be ready for what came after? And as the crowd listened, Jake felt the spotlight shift again, each word drawing him deeper into a spiraling connection of love and responsibility, as his world changed around him forever. What would it mean once he found out the truth? Each heartbeat echoed a question: was he truly prepared for the unmasking of secrets? The woman looked deep into Jake's eyes, as if she could pull out the very essence of his fears and hopes. There's so much you don't know, she began softly. I thought time would fix everything, but it didn't. I made choices that hurt you, maybe more than I realized at the time. Jake's breath caught in his throat. Memories rushed in, the loss, the misunderstandings, the moments he thought time had tried to bury. What choices? He managed, his voice strained. She hesitated, biting her lower lip, searching for a way to anchor her words. Do you remember the summer before everything went wrong? The day at the lake? Jake felt Sarah's hand tighten around his. He nodded slowly. That day was supposed to be perfect. Their laughter echoed against the water, but it spiraled into a dark memory: painful discussions, the misunderstandings, and unspoken words that led to a rift he never thought could break him. I was pregnant, she revealed slowly, stealing his breath with the weight of her confession. But I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I'd mess everything up. So, I made the choice to walk away. Shock rippled through him like a jolt of electricity. He had always sensed there was more than what met the eye, but this was unimaginable. You left because you were pregnant. Silence hung between them, palpable and heavy. He felt a mix of anger, confusion, and something he couldn't quite name. I thought I could protect you and myself, she continued, voice trembling like autumn leaves in a brisk wind. I thought if I disappeared, it would spare you the pain of being tied to a life you may not want. His heart raced, conflicting emotions crashing over him. A flicker of hope threaded through the darkness. Did you keep the baby? He asked, the words tasting foreign on his tongue. She met his gaze, and within the depths, he saw the truth weighing heavily on her heart. No. I lost the baby. Her voice cracked. And in trying to protect you, I lost us both. Tears pooled in Jake's eyes as he felt the flood of grief wash over him, not just for the lost child, but for the years lost in silence and blame. The truth cut deeper than any lie. Laughter behind them felt far away now, his children's innocence a cruel reminder of what could have been. Why now? He finally asked, desperation creeping into his tone. Why come back after all this time? I had to. You deserve to know the truth. Her eyes softened. I know it doesn't change anything, but I want to make amends. I understand if you hate me, but you should know the full story. You have to make your own choices moving forward. Jake's mind whirled. Could he forgive her? Would he be able to look at their past and still move toward a future? What do I do with this? He whispered, kicking up dust from the past he'd buried to protect his family. Sarah squeezed his hand tighter. You don't have to decide right now, she whispered, both reassurance and a challenge. The festival around them buzzed into full swing, oblivious to the world crumbling apart and being rebuilt in that small circle. But in that moment, everything felt monumental, like a hinge turning ready to swing wide open, revealing paths he never anticipated. As the woman stepped back, giving him space to breathe, he felt the heaviness of uncertainty close in again. What path would he choose now that the truth was unwrapped before him? Each heartbeat echoed a new question: could love truly mend these scars, or would they remain forever raw? And just when Jake thought he'd found his footing, a commotion erupted behind him, pulling the crowd's attention. A familiar figure burst through the throng, breathless, wide-eyed, ready to hear more. Dad! You won't believe what just happened. The voice broke through the tension, sending a ripple of anxiety through Jake's chest. Was the past about to collide with the present in a way that could shatter everything once again? Jake turned around, his heart racing. There stood his second son, Ethan, eyes wide and hair ruffled from running. The boy's excitement felt electric, yet it put a weight on the air already thick with emotion. What's wrong, buddy? Jake asked, trying to keep his voice steady despite the chaos swirling inside him. Ethan took a moment to catch his breath. I was playing near the stage, and someone just fell. They need help. He grabbed Jake's hand, pulling him toward the crowd, unaware of the delicate conversation he was interrupting. Hold on. Jake felt a mix of dread and urgency. He glanced back at Sarah, who stood frozen, her expression caught between hope and heartbreak. Stay here, he said quickly to her. I'll be right back. Ethan dragged him through the festival's throng. Sounds of laughter and music faded into a heartbeat of worry in Jake's chest. He had seen too many years roll by under the shadow of regret, and now the past threatened to swallow him whole. When they reached the center of the hustle, Jake spotted a small circle of people gathered. A middle-aged man was on the ground, clearly injured. An ominous feeling crept over him as folks began to whisper. Is he okay? Jake asked, bending to kneel next to the man, who was groaning softly. He stumbled while trying to step off the stage, someone else whispered. I think he hurt his ankle or worse. Jake reached out, carefully checking for injuries. The man's face contorted in pain, but his eyes flicked to Jake. Can you help me? Of course, Jake replied, looking up to the crowd. He gestured, trying to keep calm. Someone call an ambulance. Ethan stood nearby, pulling on his father's sleeve. Dad, can we do something? Maybe lift him? Jake nodded. Yeah, let us help him up slowly. Together with community members, they offered their arms beneath the man and helped him stand. Jake could feel the weight of the man's body against him, the strain reverberating through his muscles. But just then, caught in the midst of this crisis, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that everything felt interconnected, that his old pain, this moment, and Sarah's return were inexplicably linked. Are you stable? Jake asked the man, who nodded stiffly but wincing. You'll be okay, help is on the way. He bowed his head, focusing on breathing, the chaos around him blending into a soft blur. He glanced back at Sarah. She was watching him with a look that conveyed both apprehension and admiration. What was she feeling? Would this act change everything once more? A wave of realization hit him. This was his chance to break free from the ghosts of their history. To redefine who he was, not just in relation to her, but as a man standing firm in the moment, ready to face both the past and future. But even as he sought control in this frantic situation, uncertainty gnawed at him. Before he could process his thoughts further, a commotion grabbed everyone's attention. A group of teenagers approached, faces fraught with concern. They were friends of the injured man, eyes searching the crowd as if they too had forgotten the joy of the festival in light of this drama. Is everything okay? One of them shouted, voice laced with anxiety. Jake felt the collective energy shift. It was as if the moments of joy and fear collided, driving him to confront what was hidden, what needed to be faced. Not just to step up for this stranger, but for his own heart, the scars that still needed tending. With every pulse of the festival, Jake wondered if the path before him could truly bring healing. Would this event open the door for transformation, not just in this moment but in his life? And just as the sirens of an approaching ambulance broke the tension, a flicker of movement caught his eye, a figure stepping out of the crowd. The unexpected appeared, reshaping everything again. "Jake!" A voice called, sending a chill down his spine. He knew that voice all too well, and immediately, he was forced once more to grapple with the complicated layers of his past. Would this revelation push him further from his present or finally lead him home? Jake's heart raced as he turned, his throat tight. The voice belonged to Lisa, his first love, the one who had left years ago without explanation. She stepped through the crowd like a ghost from a past he thought he had buried. The noise of the festival faded as if the world around them had muted, leaving only the two of them in focus. "Lisa?" He couldn't mask the flood of emotions rising in his chest. Confusion tangled with a hint of longing and anxiety. "Jake," she said, the surprise in her voice mingled with a warmth that he remembered all too well. "I heard about the accident. Are you all right?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Just helping him," he gestured weakly back to the injured man still being helped by others. But Lisa's presence consumed his thoughts. Distant memories flooded back, scenes playing out like a silent film, laughter shared, promises made, the heartaches that followed. Ethan bounced beside him, oblivious to the weight of the moment, and tugged at Jake's sleeve. "Dad, who is she?" She used to. Jake stumbled over his words, trying to find a light way to explain without derailing Ethan's innocent curiosity. "She was a friend of mine." "Just a friend?" Ethan asked with the honesty only children possess. Jake shot Ethan a quick look, unsure how to answer. This was his life, a tangled web of choices and mistakes that had led him to this very moment. And here was Lisa, the person from his past who he thought he'd never see again. "I've missed you," Lisa said softly, taking a step closer. The sincerity in her voice cut through the chaos swirling in Jake's mind. "I never wanted to leave things like that. I regret how it ended." The words hung in the air, heavy with unresolved feelings. Jake's thoughts spun. "Regret? You just left, Lisa. You didn't say goodbye." "I know I was young. I didn't know how to face it. I was scared," she said, her eyes glistening as they met his. "I've thought about you all these years." A hot breath caught in his throat. What did she expect him to say? He had built walls around himself, brick by brick, diagnosing the pain of their separation as a necessary scar. Should he let her in again or guard his heart? Ethan broke the intensity, looking up at his father with innocent curiosity. "Dad, can she stay?" Jake fell silent, caught between his son's hope and his own turmoil. The crowd buzzed around them, people returning to laughter and warmth as the emergency team arrived. Their chatter danced around his ears, but he couldn't let go of this moment. It felt pivotal, as if the universe had shifted. "Jake, can we talk?" Lisa asked, her earnest gaze locking onto his. "I want to explain everything." He glanced back at Sarah, who stood at the edge of the crowd, watching with a blend of concern and disbelief. Her expression shattered the illusion of a simple moment between him and Lisa, bringing him back to reality. The choices he made today could ripple into his future in ways he couldn't yet fathom. Maybe, but not here. This wasn't a conversation for a festival crowded with strangers and old memories. He felt Ethan's hand gripping him tighter, a reminder that he had a present to protect. "Okay, we can meet later." Lisa's voice wavered, hope flickering in her eyes. "Sure." He needed time to process everything. Yet, uncertainty lingered in his heart. Would reopening this chapter of his life heal old wounds, or would it compromise what little peace he had managed to build? A siren blared, jolting him back to the present. As the paramedics began to assess the injured man, Jake turned, instinctively placing his arm around Ethan's shoulders. He felt the warmth of his son, grounding him, filling the air between past and present. Jake took a deep breath, thoughts swirling like leaves in the autumn wind. The festival began to buzz to life again around them, vibrant and full of life. But now, everything felt different. What would he do next? As he glanced back to Lisa one last time, his heart echoed with uncertainty. A new path lay before him, and he wondered, was he ready to walk it? The sun dipped lower, casting a warm golden hue on the festival. Jake stood next to Ethan, feeling his heartbeat pulse in his ears. The noise of the crowd pulsed around him, music and laughter momentarily dulled by the weight of the conversation that loomed ahead. "Can we go on the Ferris wheel?" Ethan chirped, eyes wide with excitement. The young boy tugged at his father's hand, delight clear on his face, oblivious to the storm brewing inside Jake. Jake forced a smile and nodded. "Sure, buddy." He needed something to distract him, something to break the spell that Lisa had woven around him. As they walked toward the ride, Jake's mind threaded together memories and worries. "Dad, are you okay?" Ethan glanced up, sensing the shift in his father's demeanor. "You look like you saw a ghost." "Just thinking." Jake ruffled Ethan's hair, but his own thoughts were lost in a haze. Did he really want to talk to Lisa again after all this time? Could he trust his heart not to crumble under pressure? They took their seats in the Ferris wheel, the colorful lights of the festival twinkling below. With each turn, rising higher into the sky, the freedom of the moment broke through the weight of his thoughts. For a while, it was just him and Ethan, enjoying the view. The boy laughed as the ride reached its peak, arms spread wide like he could touch the clouds. "Look at everything, Dad. It's like we're flying." Ethan exclaimed, joy radiating from him. Jake couldn't help but smile, the purity of his son's happiness igniting a spark of warmth in his chest. "Yeah, it is," Jake replied, glancing at the ground below, where Lisa stood, a figure amidst the crowd. He noticed her watching them, something unreadable in her expression. Was it regret or longing? As the Ferris wheel descended, Jake felt gravity pulling harder than just the metal contraption. He had to face her again soon, and the impending conversation gnawed at him. Why did she leave? Ethan broke into his thoughts, the innocent question hanging in the air. Did she want to? Jake faltered, caught off guard. Sometimes people leave for reasons we don't understand, buddy. It doesn't always mean they wanted to. Is that why you're sad? The boy's innocent probing pierced Jake's guarded heart. It's complicated, he muttered, the weight of unshared truths heavy on his chest. Just as the ground met them again, he felt like he was stumbling to solid ground, lost even amidst the familiarity of his own life. Ethan jumped down and pulled Jake along, eager to explore more of the festival. Jake tried to shake off the heaviness, letting himself get swept into laughter and the energy around them. However, every corner he glanced, every passing moment, he was reminded of Lisa. After a while, when the distraction began to wear off, Jake found himself standing at a small booth selling crafts, mesmerized by a string of colorful beads. He noticed another booth nearby where an artist painted faces. A memory flickered, Lisa once painted flowers on his arm. Hey, Dad. Can we get our faces painted? Ethan's excitement broke through his reverie. Please. I want a tiger. Jake chuckled. All right, a tiger it is. They approached the booth, and as Ethan sat down, Jake felt a familiar voice behind him. Seems like he's got your spirit. Jake turned, and there was Lisa again, a gentle but knowing smile on her face. The easy way she stepped into his space felt both like home and a threat. I didn't mean to intrude, but it's good to see you both enjoying, she said, gesturing toward Ethan's animated chatter. Yeah, he loves this festival, Jake replied, his voice steadier than his heart. Jake, can we talk now? Just a moment. Lisa's tone shifted, earnest and soft. He glanced at Ethan, who was blissfully unaware, already absorbed in the joy of a painted tiger. Okay. Let us talk, Jake agreed slowly, unsure what words would come next but knowing he couldn't delay this moment forever. As they stepped aside, 1,000 thoughts rushed through him. What truth lay ahead? Would this conversation lead to healing or more heartbreak? Jake paused, taking a breath. Just promise me, no more leaving like before. She nodded, her expression serious, as if understanding the weight behind his request. But as they began to talk, a sense of both fear and hope began to swell within him, ready to unveil truths that had long been buried. What revelations would emerge, and how would it reshape everything he thought he knew about love, loss, and second chances? The festival buzzed with laughter and joy, yet for Jake, a tension gripped him as he moved a step further from Ethan and into the deep uncertainty with Lisa. The backdrop of vibrant lights and cheerful melodies felt distant, like a world he no longer belonged to. What do you want to talk about? Jake asked, his voice low, unsure of how this moment would unfurl. Lisa took a breath, her face intertwining with both wisdom and uncertainty. I wanted to see how you both were. Her gaze drifted over to Ethan. He looked so happy. Yeah, Jake replied, an edge in his tone. He deserves this. We both do. But you can't just show up after all this time and expect everything to be fine. Her eyes softened, filled with a sorrow that sent an ache through him. I know I didn't mean to hurt you. I've thought about the decision I made every single day. Thought about it. That's it. You just left. The harshness of his own words surprised him, but he couldn't hold back. Each time she had crossed his mind as a specter taunting him, he felt engulfed in disbelief. It wasn't just an emotional decision, Lisa. It changed everything for us. For Ethan. I know. The regret on her face was palpable. I can't change what happened. I wanted to find myself, and I thought distance would help. But I see now that it only hurt everyone I loved. A tear slipped down her cheek. I miss you both more than anything. Jake clenched his jaw, feeling anger clash with memories of laughter and the way they used to talk for hours. You think saying that will fix this? We've moved on without you, Lisa. Have you? Is that really true? She asked, her voice cracking with emotion. Or has your heart been locked away, too afraid to open up to someone else? Her question echoed within him, and he looked away, momentarily lost in the haze of nostalgia and the pain of betrayal. He wanted to deny it but couldn't. Perhaps he had built walls around his heart, sheltering himself from vulnerability. Listen, Lisa softened her tone. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need you to know I'm here now. I want to be a part of Ethan's life again, and yours. I'll do anything to prove it. Jake inhaled deeply, staring at the ground, desperately searching for the right words. His heart was a storm of emotions, torn between the love he once felt and the fear of being hurt again. What did it mean to allow her back after everything? Could they even rebuild? Ethan's laughter floated from the face-painting booth, the sound like a bomb on their rawness. Dad! Look, I'm a tiger. His bright voice cut through the tension. Jake turned to see Ethan bounding over, the painted face full of happiness and innocence. Can we get ice cream? Ethan asked, still buzzing with excitement, oblivious to what had just transpired. Jake looked back at Lisa. We will talk about this, but I don't know how or if it can work. I understand, Lisa said, surrendering for a moment. But I want you to think about it. As the laughter faded into the background, both parents watched Ethan eagerly bounce toward the ice cream stand. Jake felt the weight of unresolved feelings hovering just overhead. He couldn't shake the fear that resurfaced. Would letting Lisa back in mean opening a floodgate of pain again, or could it just lead to understanding? Jake, Lisa said softly, stepping a little closer, the air thick with unspoken words. There is so much I need to say, things that might change everything for us. Can we meet tomorrow? Jake's heart quickened. Tomorrow was a chance, a precipice. But what would he find on the other side? Would they truly unlock a new beginning, or would shadows of the past still linger on the horizon? The sun dipped further, casting long shadows over Maplewood, but Jake felt the warmth of possibility radiating through him, igniting the courage to face what lay ahead. As Ethan trailed beside him like a surging wave of innocence, the laughter of the festival pulsed around them, but his heart drummed to the rhythm of change. When they reached the ice cream stand, Ethan bounced on his toes, unable to contain his excitement. "I want chocolate." "No, wait, bubblegum." His innocent chatter was a soothing balm to Jake's swirling thoughts. "Okay, champ. How about both?" Jake laughed, ruffling Ethan's hair, losing himself for a moment in his son's delight. As Jake ordered 2 scoops, he caught a glimpse of Lisa standing a few feet away. Her shoulders were slumped, her earlier resolve now masked by uncertainty. The choice ahead weighed heavy on him, like a pendulum swinging between hope and fear. "Dad?" Ethan's small voice brought him back. "Can we sit over there?" He pointed to a nearby bench illuminated by twinkling fairy lights, bathed in the glow of the festival. "Yeah, let us sit." Jake nodded, guiding them to the bench. Each step felt momentous. As they settled onto the bench, Jake stole a glance back at Lisa, and she offered him a small, tentative smile. He felt a flutter within his chest. That fleeting warmth reminded him of days long gone, filled with laughter and dreams. But then came the bitterness of their history, a flood of loss threatening to pull him under. As Ethan eagerly dug into his ice cream, Jake took a deep breath and turned to him. "So, how was your day, kiddo? Did you have fun?" "Best day ever, Dad. I made friends, and you should see me singing on stage. Can we do it all again tomorrow?" Ethan's joy was pure and unfiltered, and in that moment, Jake felt a mix of pride and a pang of heartache. This was his son so free, so joyful. Before he could respond, Lisa approached, standing at the edge of their small world. "Can I join?" she asked, nerves twitching under her polite smile. Sure." Jake clasped his hands tightly. He wasn't sure what he was doing, but he knew they all needed to find some kind of resolution. The conversation began tentatively, like the first steps on a fresh path, each word measured, each sentence fragile. "Ethan, why don't you tell Ms. Lisa about the pumpkin carving contest?" Jake suggested, nudging the conversation into safer waters. "Okay." Ethan lit up. "I want to carve the biggest pumpkin next year. Last year's was too small." Jake found himself chuckling, and in that moment, Lisa softened further. "You know, I used to love carving pumpkins too. Maybe I could help next time." The enthusiasm in her voice made Jake's heart flicker with unsure hope. As they spoke, small moments began to knit their lives back together, laughter mingling with shared memories. It was tentative and sweet. For the first time, Jake felt the possibility of forgiveness crack open a door. Every word exchanged felt like a thread weaving them closer, strengthening the fragile fabric of what was once their family. "Ethan, why don't you show Ms. Lisa your new tiger face?" Jake said, feeling a swell of warmth as he watched his son bounce into action, turning to Lisa with sheer delight. Ethan held his face up proudly as if wearing a badge of honor. "Do you like it?" Lisa bent down, her expression genuine and full of admiration. "You look amazing, like a real tiger. I bet you could scare away any bad guys." Their laughter sang through the air, and for a moment, Jake forgot the complexity of the conversation still waiting. He allowed himself a sliver of acceptance and hope. But reality soon crashed back in, reminding him of their past wounds. "You really want to talk tomorrow?" Jake ventured, meeting Lisa's gaze, the weight of her presence pressing on his heart. "I do," she replied softly, her hands clasped in front of her. "There's so much to explain, things I need to share." "Okay," Jake whispered, a knot tightening in his stomach. As daunting as it felt to open old wounds, perhaps Lisa's secrets had the potential to heal as much as they could hurt. The sounds of laughter resumed around them, and the festival pulsated with color and life. But in the heart of it all, an uncharted path lay ahead, one that could lead either to renewal or a reckoning. As the light dimmed and dusk hovered just above the horizon, Jake clutched Ethan's hand tighter, feeling the boy's warmth bleed through to settle the fears within him. Ultimately, he had to choose not just for himself but for his family, their future. "Let us head home, buddy." Jake stood, giving Ethan a soft squeeze. "Do we have to leave? The fireworks are coming." Ethan's eyes sparkled. "We'll be back for the fireworks," Jake promised, glancing once more at Lisa. "But it's getting late." A blend of emotions passed between him and Lisa, a silent understanding. A chance to rewrite their story awaited them, and it felt as if the first steps had already begun. As they walked away from the festival lights, a sense of possibility settled within him. Tomorrow would be the day they opened up to all that lay beneath the surface. Tomorrow, he would dare to confront the past and step into whatever future awaited them. And with that thought, Jake took a deep breath, letting the night air fill him with the faintest glimmer of hope. Because even in the dark, he could feel the light breaking through the clouds, casting rays of love and resilience over Maplewood, reminders that they were all connected, bound by scars yet woven by hope. The journey would be challenging, he knew that all too well. But together, perhaps they could shine brighter than the faintest star. The call to adventure beckoned, and Jake was finally ready to respond. If you felt the tug of transformation in your heart through this story, this is your moment. You need to subscribe now so you don't miss the incredible stories that await you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and let it know how much you care. Don't wait not even one more second. Comment your reactions and feelings below. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support means the world to us, and only true fans understand the importance of amplifying these messages. Join our journey today.